Welcome to Futurartist Records Presents. I'm Michael Hartsock, and my guest today is Smackfactor, a heavy metal band from the Front Range of Colorado. Welcome, guys. Thanks for coming down today.
How's it going?
How you doing?
I'm going to do the generic everybody does interview. Have you introduce yourselves and tell me what you play in the band for anybody who might not be familiar with you. Lauren, why don't we start with you?
I'm Lauren. I play drums.
I'm Peyton. I'm the vocalist.
I'm Sean. I play guitar.
James, I play bass and backup vocals.
John, guitar and backup vocals.
Awesome. How long have you been a band with this lineup?
7 years.
Wow.
Yep.
This lineup.
2011.
Cool. How long has Smackfactor been a band?
15 years.
Yeah.
2004.
How many lineup changes have you had?
2.
Well, that's not bad. That's not bad.
Is it real?
Yeah, that's not bad at all. If I had to ask one influence, who would it be for each of you?
I gotta say, Megadeth.
Might be Devil Driver.
Demon Hunter.
I'm going to say Charles Mingus.
I'd say Judas Priest.
Nice. Now, it's a pretty wide variety there, which is, I think, a lot of bands are doing that now. Huge listening, palette, which is cool because you never know where your influence is going to come from on a certain approach to a song, which is awesome.
Yep.
So, Smackfactor, how did that name come about?
Well, when we began, the bassist at the time brought the name to our attention, and I wasn't too sure about it, and the singer said, hey, you need to think about it, take it home, write it down 10 times, and see what you think. And so I did. I wrote it down 10 times, and he was right. After that, it just sounded right. Smackfactor was a good name and had a good catch to it, and so.
And you think it applies to you musically?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Impact.
Do you find that the audience feels that way too?
I think so.
When they say they listen to Smackfactor, do they?
Yeah, people don't seem to be ashamed to say our name.
No, I think they get what the meaning is.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. I mean,
Pretty straightforward.
it's amazing, branding. The name has to work.
We get quite a few misinterpretations. Let's see, Max Factor, Snack Factor.
Sure.
Yeah, there's some shit company called Smackfactor.
Yeah.
There was one that was like Smash Burger or something like that. Smack Factor, yeah. So it's pretty fun, yeah.
But that's cool.
It's a lot of fun with other
It is
bands.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
If you can't poke fun, what's the point?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. Well, and it ingrains it in their mind once you correct them too.
Yeah, it's like,
So,
oh,
yeah.
So,
So now I see you've got an album here, and this is a new album. Where does this fit in the line of albums you've done as Smackfactor?
So this is the second full length, and
Correct.
then 3 EPs and 1 compilation.
yep.
Yeah.
And with this lineup,
This is the first CD full length with this lineup.
okay.
Yeah.
And how many of you were on the others?
Everybody but me, I believe.
Yeah.
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 Okay. So you've been a team for a while then.
Other
Yeah.
than the
That's
very
awesome.
first EP, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
These guys were the only two.
Yeah.
guitar
Oh,
Sean and
gotcha,
John are
okay.
The original.
Gotcha.
Very, very
Yeah, they're
first.
the original.
So then, who is the actual founder of Smackfactor?
I think that's both of them. Oh, is it?
Did you come up with it together, sitting in the room, going, "Hey, we should make a band"?
No, my wife was getting upset with me, and she says, "Get in a band or make one." So I found out Sean was back in town, and so I got a hold of him, and we just kind of went from there. Just started building friends, like Lauren said
Sure.
earlier, the community, people we knew, making phone calls, and next thing you know,
From all playing in different bands and everything. They all
Yeah.
knew each other for a long time.
So the forming of the band, that evolution of creating a group that worked together, does that apply to your albums as well? Does that same evolution kind of happen where you're kind of searching for something, or is it by default? I've been in the studio with you guys a couple times, and I know the changes you've gone through.
Yeah.
But is it a purposeful evolution, or is it an accidental evolution?
Well, so this one we just went back to basics. Just went back to we got rid of all the extra stuff and just stuck to what we did a long time ago, and it come back and it turned out good. So
Yeah, there's some songs on here that are before I was even in the band that they brought, and we changed up a lot and put
Okay.
a new touch on, and then a lot of, like 322, I think was the newest song on there, which was about a year prior to us recording this,
Oh, okay.
which was about
Okay.
a 5-year process to get to that album.
So is there more production or less production on this album than what you've done in the past?
More, for sure.
Well, so there's less pieces. So
Yeah.
so you know we got rid of the didgeridoo and so there's less. You know, that's hard to explain, but
So it's
produced
more of
better.
just a, okay, so the production is better, but not necessarily more of it.
No.
So you've gotten back to just being a rock band rather than a produced rock.
Yeah, we wanted to keep
Absolutely.
the Smackfactor sound to where we sound. We don't want
Sure.
to be something that's completely modified to where it sounds computer generated, you know.
How different is your sound live from your studio?
Pretty close.
Sound
Yeah, it's
exactly
about
like-
95%. It's pretty up there.
Do you find with this style of music that's important?
Oh yeah.
I
Do you think it's
so,
more
yeah.
important than other genres?
If you can't play what you're
Yeah,
on the
honestly,
album,
yeah.
there's a lot of bands that said that back in the day that we
Right.
don't want to record something that we're not going to be able to do live, and then people are like, "Well, why did you guys make that if you can't do it?" Actually,
Sure,
you know?
sure.
Well, just recently I heard a band out of, the Front Range, and I was like, wow, these guys heard the record and was, wow, amazing. So go see them. It's like,
Yeah, it's completely.
that's not them.
Yeah, it's,
Right.
it's a band that's
Yeah.
not what.
Do you think that there's a place for a produced album that's different than a live show?
Yeah. Well, there's some bands that are completely studio bands that
Right,
don't
right.
play live shows, and
Right.
they are phenomenal, and they are better off that way.
Do you think it's genre specific, or do you think it just
It doesn't
it's
matter,
just the
honestly.
band?
I think there's
across.
yeah.
But we are primarily a live band.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what
Okay.
we do. That's where we thrive. That's where we do
Yeah.
best, and our live show is that's
People-
us. Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
people feed off us pretty well. We have a good reception in the audience and everything.
Have you ever thought about recording a live show and making it an album?
We had something I thought.
It's kind of expensive.
Yeah.
You have to have lots of gear and good ears behind it.
Yeah,
So you don't want to
exactly.
just plug in and go.
Yeah, a DVD would be great, but
Yeah.
they're expensive
Yeah.
if you want to get it done right.
Yeah.
Sure, sure.
Definitely would want to do a live album and then have that presented in a way that was not representative of what we do.
Sure,
Yeah.
And
sure.
then have that reason be because of budget.
Right.
Would be
So do you think that if you did a live show, you would want to choreograph it, so to speak? You'd want
don't
to
know
plan,
you
or
do
do
that
you
with
would
our
just
show.
jam and then
we
hope
feed
that-
off each other pretty well on stage. We don't usually. I mean, towards the beginning there was obviously some getting used to, but everybody we vibe pretty well. I mean, there's some mishaps that we have on stage. We'll bump into guys, or I'll trip over something. But we
Every time.
Yeah, we play it off well though. Nobody knows. Nobody knew
Sure.
that we messed up.
Sure. Well, and that's part of it, isn't it?
Yeah, only us.
You know,
we
yeah.
look at each other. We're like, hey, what the heck?
You mess up, keep playing. Nobody knows the difference.
exactly.
Right.
that's
right.
a result
Yeah.
of the chaos. The only part of the show that has any sort of choreography in it is the set list itself.
Yeah.
Sure.
The songs that we're going to play, those are scripted. We know what we're going to play. After that, it's 1, 2, 3, go.
Yeah.
Keep
We're
your
pretty
head
in
on a
tune
swivel.
live though.
So you're talking about being a live band, having a set list, working well together, feeding off of each other. Has it ever happened that someone started playing the wrong song?
Oh yeah, I know that.
Yeah.
How about playing two different keys at the same time on the same song?
That's happened.
And so I started playing the wrong song at like one of the biggest shows we've ever played, and it was mortifying. But then I saw the video of it, and it was
Yeah, and you
hilarious.
couldn't tell.
It was great because he was like, "Oh, you're playing the wrong dance."
Yeah,
Actually, the crowd feeded off it.
yeah, they
Loved
I
it.
think bringing that human element to it sometimes really kind of connects you with the
Right, yeah,
audience.
yeah.
We don't take ourselves. I mean, we're a serious metal band. We don't take ourselves serious
Sure.
as individuals.
Sure.
We're not up there trying to make people intimidated by us in any way.
Right, which brings me to another question. I think that leads very well into it, is people have a perception of metal bands being thugs.
Yeah.
Do you run across that? And how do you see it from your side? Because, metal is just like any other style of music. You've got to know how to play your instrument.
Yeah.
You take the time to write. You spend the money to record. You have to think about your performances.
Yeah.
Heavy metal is inherently a fairly violent sounding music, and it is dark themes and dark art and stuff like that.
Depending on the
but it's all
genre.
totally thought out, and like we think about this stuff like nonstop, and you know, it's not party all night
Right.
anymore. You know, the things have changed. The money is evaporated, and so this is
Doesn't take long, does
It's
it?
not drugs, sex, and rock and roll like it used to
no,
be.
not anymore, man.
Yeah.
It's you know,
It's pretty much
we're
just
all-
the rock and roll now.
we have kids and mortgages and car payments and health insurance
Families,
and
yeah.
retirement plans and everything, just like everybody else, you know. But
Right.
This is, you know, that's what we do. So.
Does your audience expect you to be different than you are when you meet them outside of the show?
There's certain people that are like, oh, I thought you guys would be like super crazy. You guys are like down to earth. Or I thought you guys were gonna be a bunch of jerks, and you know,
Right.
you guys are super nice people, and you know, we hang out with our fans, and there's a lot of people who we consider family that come to our shows all the time. You know,
Cool.
that we are connected with, and a lot of our.
Certainly.
I mean,
the scene
theoretically,
itself, though.
I'm shy at shows. I'm not the outspoken person.
Yeah.
There's a couple guys in the band that are, and that's great. I'd rather have someone come up to me than me going
Right,
to them.
sure,
So,
sure.
I
But
tend
once
to
you
hide
strum
out.
that guitar, all bets are off.
Yeah.
Once a guitar starts.
Yeah.
yeah, that's different. Yeah, once the guitar is on, that's it. It's
Right.
it's open
That's
season.
alter ego time.
Yeah,
That's,
Yeah.
The stage persona and the actual person are
Yeah,
completely
completely different
separated.
people.
Right.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
and throughout my career, you know, the more and more we meet our idols at, you know, we on tours and stuff, and you're like, wow, that guy was a total jerk, or that guy was
Right.
totally cool, you know. And,
Right.
and so
Yeah.
either there's, you know, the ego and all, the rock star thing, which is, to me, I don't get it. But,
Yeah.
then, but then there's like a real person that you're like, wow, man, I love the
Yeah.
way you play. I've followed your whole career, and they're like, yeah, it's great, man, right on. You know,
Yeah.
let's hang out.
Yeah.
And
So who are
it's
some of the
amazing.
bands you've opened for or played with?
Oh man,
We've literally played with some of the originators of the genre itself. We played with Deicide and Venom.
Sepultura.
Sepultura and Soulfly. So we played with both of, you know,
Fear
some-
Factory.
Fear Factory.
Mushroom Heads.
Yep. Before Wayne Static passed away, we were the last
His
people
last
that
Denver
essentially
show.
played
Oh,
here
wow.
in Denver. You know,
That's
so
cool.
that was something that we can,
That's pretty
you know,
special.
we can hold
Yeah.
for a long time. You know, we've met people who we've listened to our whole life that come up to us after shows or after we're done playing, like, you guys are great, and it's like the
Yeah,
most
it's my
Isn't that cool?
humbling
Yeah.
feeling in the world,
It
though,
is.
too, because you're like, oh my, like, I've listened to you my entire life, and for you to say something like that
Yeah.
to me is just, you know.
To make you want to go practice harder?
Yeah,
It does.
exactly. You
It
made me
does
want to
make
play
you wanna be
music,
better,
and you
for
sure.
appreciate what I do. You know,
Yeah.
it's a great feeling.
Well, it lifts you
So,
up and gives you a different standard too,
Yeah,
doesn't
well,
it?
yeah. When you're up on stage and the people are going crazy to you, and their feet, and people are singing along to songs,
Yeah.
and they get crazy when we announce a song. It's like,
Yeah.
That's
you know, no
the thing that blows
drug
my
or
mind,
feeling
yeah.
can, you know, compare to
Nothing.
that. Yeah,
Yeah,
nothing.
it's
It's
the
the best
best.
feeling in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who primarily is a songwriter?
I'd say all of it. You know, everybody kind of collaborates and bounces off. These guys obviously do a little bit more than I do, but you know,
So there isn't a lyricist in the band or a...
Lauren's got lyrics. Sean's the only one I think that hasn't really thrown lyrically, but
No,
everybody else kind of gets their
his
input.
music.
Yeah.
Well, but I mean, everybody has their specific,
Sure. So,
obviously, that they do.
We'll start with like a core like song thing, you know,
Somebody
and then,
had an
and then just
idea.
take parts away, add parts here. I got an idea here. Well, it fits really well, you know. It's just so it's definitely a group collaboration.
That's cool.
You know?
Yeah, that's
Some
cool.
guys have brought back songs that they've used since they were young. You know, they're like, I used to play this.
Resurrected.
And and
Yeah.
it fits completely into what we're doing now. You know, like James LCD or whatever.
Yeah,
We've
yeah.
had that lying around for how
Riffs that
long?
I had from when my teenage years.
Yeah.
man.
Yeah,
Like,
that's awesome.
Which is a brand,
When
one of our
nobody was
newest
listening
songs.
to angry music and heavy metal was kind of pretty, I guess. You know? And I could never, you know, I was never the kid that could wear the lipstick and the
Right.
spandex and
You weren't part
do
of
my
the
hair
glam
up
scene?
and all that stuff because I'd look ridiculous. So
Doesn't look great in Spanish.
yeah,
No.
and my hair does not tease up too well.
Let's not create images
Yeah,
for our
yeah.
audience.
We're
I had
getting
a
off
lot of
course
angry
here.
stuff back then.
We're
man.
straying away.
It kind of fits now.
That's cool though, and you don't see a lot of groups where everybody in the band says we collaborate. You know, a lot of times there's one guy that kind of heads the band up, and everybody else kind of joins in. So it's cool that everybody, you know, is definitely an integral part of it. That's
And everybody has their part, you know, in the band as you know, this is what you do, this is what you do. And it wasn't like this is what you do, but it's like this is what he does best, and they just kind of take that into over.
That's
John
cool.
does all the art, you know, he's the art director, and he's just really as good at that stuff, you know.
so you do all the art for all your merch.
I not all
Most of it.
Yeah, most of it.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
like I do all the glass and whatnot, and we just do a lot of things. I'm an artist, and so not I just don't just draw. I also play guitar as an artist and play piano and whatever. So, you know, it's when we come into this band with a riff. If it doesn't work, so be it.
Sure.
If it works, then we feed off.
Do you put it on the back burner? You don't eliminate it. You just say,
If we stumble over it,
look
later,
at it again.
we
Yeah.
stumble over
Yeah.
it, but
It's just
it's kind of a timing.
How it works.
hard
Sure.
to explain.
Timing and
Yeah.
chemistry, really. You know,
That's cool,
timing
though.
and chemistry.
That's cool. Can we get a camera on this logo? Because you guys have had this logo for a long time.
Survival weed.
Survival weed.
Now, is this an original logo? This is a patch for anybody out there looking.
Pretty old, yeah. So it's knives, kind of in the shape of a marijuana leaf, but like upside down.
Yeah.
And that's been around for probably 12, 13 years. It's one of the original Smackfactor designs. It's been with us for a while.
Is this a popular?
It is.
You know,
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People tend to like that
It
design.
is Colorado.
Sure, that's true. That is true.
I mean, it is a marijuana leaf, but we obviously, partake ourselves, but we're not, out there,
Right.
trying to make everybody.
So
Yeah, we're
it's
not a
not a
hot
marketing image.
yeah,
It's
well,
just,
no, it's because it's more, against opioids and stuff like that.
Right.
It's our choice to be,
I've seen this logo for a while.
Yeah.
And so I didn't know, if that was your primary logo or if, because you've got, I see
in a
on
way
your
it's
shirt
become
here,
that.
just the Smackfactor above it.
So we have the knives, and then we have like a tribal wings, or the whatever it's called, the
Tri-wing.
trilobite, yeah.
yeah.
And we got a bunch of logos, but I think just the block Smackfactor is
That's our basic.
logo.
Yeah, okay.
Boy, but we got designs. We got a lot of designs.
Well, we had a guy in Russia actually design the
The album cover.
album
Oh,
cover.
cool.
We the art team got
Yeah,
together and
we
said
gave
this
them
is
the
what we
ideas.
want, and then via the magic of the interwebs, we
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
Which
Yeah,
is,
it's
he
pretty
designed
amazing.
for a lot of other big bands too, like Carnifex and some giant big bands that we played with. Even Winds of Plague, he did
Wow,
some
that's
designs
cool.
for them and stuff. So he's not just some random guy.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Good though, and quick.
Yeah, he's very good.
Yeah, very
That's awesome.
quick too.
Radic
Yeah,
is his name.
he's good.
Yeah.
Now, you guys have put a lot of work into this. You've got an album, you've got merchandise. I know you're working on a tour. We're going to want to have you guys back in and talk about that another time. But in the middle of all this, you entered a contest. And you ended up placing high enough to be on a compilation album. Who would like to tell a little bit about that story?
I was messing around on Facebook and saw this record label that's resurrecting that was originally part of Megadeth and Death Angel, a lot of these big bands that these guys especially grew up listening to, that's coming back, and they were having a contest trying to get this compilation together with essentially thousands of bands entered it, and then a top 100 went through a process of elimination with fans and people voting and stuff, and then eventually made it down to a top 25, and it's going to be a worldwide compilation that we're going to be on, and pushed
That's
by
awesome.
Dave Mustaine of Megadeth, or not Dave Mustaine,
Dave Ellefson.
David
Dave
Ellefson,
Ellefson.
excuse me, of Megadeth.
Combat Records,
Combat
the
Records.
That's-
original metal label.
That's awesome.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Do you have any idea when that's going to drop?
It's supposed to be out in March.
Okay,
Yeah, they haven't had
cool.
an official date yet, but it says springtime that it's coming out, which is it'll be Mark Rizzo and a couple other big bands that they're on Combat Records now that they'll be pushing along with 25 underground
awesome.
bands that made it on, including us.
And then, so they also included us in their magazine that they
that's
have for
cool.
NAMM, and,
Yep.
and yeah, definitely. That's
Nice.
pretty cool. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you pull a track from this album for that, or?
Yeah, it'll be the first one. Yeah, use one to destroy,
Yeah, because we have
Cool.
a video for it. It's the most accessible song for us to.
and it's pretty Smackfactor-ish.
Yeah.
Nice, nice.
It fits
Well,
all the label.
that's the song that we're going to play in the closing credits too.
Great.
So make sure that everybody out there checks it out. So,
Turn your
That's us.
TVs up.
Yeah, that's
right,
us.
right,
In a
right.
nutshell, that's
Right.
yeah, pretty much who we are.
What advice would you give to not just bands that are starting out, but to front range bands? Because I know Colorado's an interesting music scene, and it doesn't seem to me anyway that it matters what genre you're in. It's a hard game in Colorado. There's a lot of talent, and it's hard to get people to recognize you or take you seriously a lot of times. So what would you say to a band that's wanting to break out of his neighborhood, so to speak?
You definitely got to get out and start meeting people. Go down to the Denver scene. That's where we seem to have, being a front range band more. We have more of our shows and fans down in Denver because that's where we have got a better connection with people. But I mean, just networking and working together with other bands, and don't be afraid to go pass out some flyers and put up posters in stores and random places.
Get out and play.
Yeah, get out and play.
Play everywhere you can. Meet all the people you can. Get with
Especially
all the
when you get
promoters.
going.
Meet other guys at other shows. Talk to other bands. Network. Definitely
So
find a
even
group
with
of guys
all
that
the-
you can deal with.
Sure, yeah.
important.
That's really important. So even with all the new technology and social media, live shows,
Yes.
shaking hands,
Yeah.
important.
And go hard no matter what, man.
Yeah,
If
whether you're playing in front of
if
5
you show up
people
at a
or-
show, exactly,
Yeah.
man, and there's nobody there, you and the sound people give them the exact same show you're going to put on. If that place was packed with 550
Sure.
people, go hard every
Sure.
time. You never know, man. It might be the last time you get to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
Or
That's
you
a
never
good
know
point.
who's there watching you.
So be serious about it. Take it seriously, no matter what level you're at.
Take it seriously. Try to be professional about it as well.
Yeah.
There's some out there, some bands out there that don't take it as professional, and so the setup time and the
Yep.
breakdown time, it breaks into the other band's time. So
Don't break down your drum kit on stage.
Yeah.
Say that.
yeah, let's just put it that way. So just be as proficient as you can and move forward.
Yeah.
So talking about professionalism, do you find that you're more of a businessman when you're not playing, or is there one person in the band that kind of takes that position usually, or how does that
Probably
work?
Lauren.
Lauren, we consider ourselves business metal. Yeah. So, yeah.
Is that a new genre?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I
it's
think
great.
we invented it.
Accountants love it. So I kind of do the business end of most things, and he does the booking, and we all have our jobs, and it just morphed into our positions, and that's what it is. So yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's cool. Well, where can we find your stuff? I know you've got probably a million places. Why don't you name off some of the best places to find your stuff?
We obviously have our website, which is www.smackfactor.net, and then Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube,
Yep.
Spotify, iTunes.
Cool. So you have digital and hard copy available.
Exactly. Yeah. Which,
Absolutely.
if you go to the website, you can order the hard copies through us.
Okay.
So
Yep.
And merchandise, same thing?
merchandise, yeah, anything
Full merch
pretty much
store.
that you see right here, we can
Cool.
ship you out.
Very cool. Well, guys, I think that about wraps it up for this one. I want to have you guys back again. This was fun.
Awesome.
Yeah,
And I'm
it's
sure
great.
Yeah,
there's
it's great.
tons more we could talk about.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll pull out
Yeah.
those EPs and talk about those.
Yeah.
But thanks for coming on. This was a blast.
Thanks for having us.
And
Yeah, definitely.
yeah,
Thanks for
yeah,
having us.
this was great. And folks, stick around because we're going to play one of their tracks, Use Once and Destroy, off their album. While the credits roll, we're going to put up their website and their Facebook information. And make sure you like and subscribe to this program because we're going to have a lot more of this kind of thing on. And it should be really exciting. And we're going to have Smackfactor back on again eventually too, so come back and see them. For Captain's Lounge Studios, T.G. Lewis Productions, Futurartist Records, I'm Michael Hartsock, and this is Futurartist Records Presents. Thanks for watching.